We're now live, Chairman.
Thank you. Welcome to a virtual meeting of the North Planning Committee of the London Borough of Hillingdon. This virtual meeting is being broadcast simultaneously on the Council's YouTube channel, Hillingdon London. I'm Councillor Eddie Lavery, the Chairman of the North Planning Committee. Before we start, can I do the online housekeeping? Can you please ensure your mobile phones are on silent? If you're wearing a headset, please ensure the microphone's away from your mouth to avoid noise. And please keep all microphones muted when you're not speaking, and then unmute to speak. Only one person may speak at a time, and I will call you. In a slight change to the way we did the previous meeting, if you could make sure your cameras are on, and then if you indicate by raising your hand you're looking to speak, I will pick you up and call your name to speak, which avoids the need to go all the way around the room if people haven't got anything they wish to add. I need to just do a roll call so for the public record people can see who was in attendance. If I can start please with Councillor Higgins.
Yes, Chair, and I'm here, thank you.
Councillor Dott.
Councillor Dott doesn't appear to be present, Chairman.
Okay, Councillor Hagger.
Good evening, I'm here, thank you.
Councillor Kaufman.
I'm here, Chairman. Good evening.
Councillor Melvin.
Yes, I'm here, Chairman. Good evening.
Councillor Morgan.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. I'm present.
Councillor Oswald.
Yes, present, Chairman. Thank you.
Councillor Singh.
Councillor Singh doesn't appear to be present either.
Okay, we have two members missing, but we are quorate. You confirm that, Luke?
Yes, I can confirm.
Okay. Just confirming the officer team for tonight. Matt Kalashevsky, the planning officer.
Hello, Chairman. I'm present. Thank you.
James Roger, the head of planning.
Hi, Chairman. I'm present.
Democratic Service Officer is Luke Taylor.
Yep, I'm present.
We've all heard. Legal officers Glenn Egan.
Present, Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, just a reminder in terms of the technicalities of tonight. If a councillor leaves the virtual meeting partway through for a period of time, you lose your connection, I will continue unless I'm not caught. But of course, in accordance with normal rules, if you're not present for the whole of an item, you cannot vote on that item. Okay, we have received no apologies for absence, although we currently have two councillors who haven't joined us. Declarations of interest, Councillor Melvin, I think you've got one in item 7.
Yes, I have, Chairman. I have a non-pecuniary interest in item 716 Murray Road. I will be leaving the meeting during the course of that.
Thank you, Councillor Melvin. Does anybody else have any interest they wish to declare? If I don't hear any now, I will take it as none. Thank you. In your bundle, you had the minutes of the meeting 18th of March and the minutes of the 14th of May meetings. Can I take both of those agreed unless anyone's got any objections to them? I've heard no objections, so I'm going to take those as good. There are no matters notified in advance or urgent, so the agenda we are considering is the one that was published. Items 7 to 13 are in part 1, or 7 to 14 are in part 1, and items 15 and 16 are enforcement items and will be in part 2 with the public feed switched off. I would also ask members to note that item 11 in your bundles, the full report was not present, but it was emailed to all members on Friday. So all of you should have had that. If anyone has not got it, can they shout now? No, no shouts, so I'm taking that as good. The first item on the agenda is item 6, which is a temporary change to our operating rules regarding physical speaking rights during the COVID pandemic. Mark Braddock, could you just outline this for committee?
Chairman, thank you. Councillors, this is a report before you recommending a temporary suspension of speaking rights within the Council's petition scheme in light of the coronavirus pandemic, through the suspension of your committee's standing orders. In its place, it is proposed that written representations are received where there is a valid petition. The proposal essentially replicates the usual physical speaking times in terms of average word count instead. By allowing written representations, importantly, this ensures technology is not a barrier to residents and others who wish to put their views across upon a receipt of a valid petition. Such representations would need to be received 24 hours prior to the meeting to be included, and the chairman would retain his usual discretion over all such matters. These written representations will be read out during virtual planning committee meetings so councillors can duly consider them as part of the decision-making process. All our virtual meetings will be streamed live on the council's YouTube channel, as it is now, for people to watch in an accessible way. I'd add that this proposal is a temporary measure and would, upon both UK government advice and when the council determines, revert back to established speaking rights upon the resumption of traditional planning committee meetings. This recommendation will need to be proposed and seconded in the usual way and requires a majority of the committee to take effect. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mark, for that. This is the same as we are using for all planning committees and is an attempt to ensure that residents' views can still be heard whilst they can't be with us. If I could have a proposal for that, Councillor Higgins, are you happy?
Yeah, I'll propose that.
I'll second it, Chairman. Sorry.
I'll second it, Chairman.
Councillor Osborne, I think, was marginally quicker, so we'll take
Okay.
those. I'll have to go around you all and confirm the vote. Councillor Higgins, you just proposed, so I'll take your vote. Councillor Hagger?
Agreed.
Councillor Kaufman?
Agreed.
Councillor Melvin?
Agreed.
Councillor Morgan?
Agreed.
Councillor Oswald proposed, so I'll take you as agreed. That is, all members present have agreed. The only ones obviously absent are the two members of committee not there. So I take that as carried. Do you confirm that, Luke?
Yes, I can confirm that. Yeah.
Right.
Chairman, just to advise you that Councillor Singh has now joined the meeting as well.
Good. Welcome, Councillor Singh.
Thank you.
Good. Right. So we will move, and item 6 is the first petition item we will have heard under the new rules. So you'll now get a first-hand view of how they work. Item 7, sorry. So can I take item 7, please? 16 Murray Road, Northwood. Matt, can you do the presentation, please?
I will be leaving the meeting, Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Melvin.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll just start the presentation. Can everyone see that?
Yes, Matt.
Matt, you're good.
Okay. The application seeks permission for the erection of a 2-storey rear extension, the extension of the roof space, including a rear dormer, and the conversion of the loft space to provide 2 one-bedroom flats. The proposal also includes a change of use of the ground and first floor from C3 residential with a small element of D1 non-residential use to form a D1 nursery. I'll just take members through the slides. The 16 Murray Road there, the red line plan, and another one. This is the existing site plan with 16 Murray Road and several car parking spaces to the front. The existing plans and elevations. And these are the proposed plans and elevations. You can see in red are the elements that are being extended. So on the ground floor here, you can see the extension at the back. You can see it here at first floor level and also at roof level. There's several extensions. In terms of the layouts, sorry, I can just show you as well. You've got at ground floor level, not sure how clear this is, but you can see these are all separate classrooms. And at first floor level here as well. And at roof level, you've got the 2 one-bedroom flats that are being proposed. An aerial bird's eye view of the site and several site photos here. You can see it's a large detached house. The element of D1 use that's mentioned, that I just mentioned, there's previous permission for it to be used as a veterinary surgery, although more recently it has been used as a cooking school. Just more site photos here. This is the rear of the property. You'll note it does have a large 2-storey rear projection that's flat roofed. Again, just showing the neighbouring properties. And on the other side as well, there's just a few more photos. Just to give you some context, that's the back garden at the moment, which is quite heavily shrubbed, trees, etc. Oh, pardon me. The site is occupied, as you can see from the photos, by a 2.5-storey building, which is currently in residential use, with planning history showing that part of the ground floor had been used as a veterinary clinic in the past, and more recently as a space for providing catering tutorials. The majority of buildings on the road are single dwellings or contain flats, although there is a doctor's surgery and a synagogue nearby. At the end of the road, to the north of the site, is Northwood Town Centre and a primary shopping area. Northwood Underground Station is sited within the town centre, approximately 200 metres walking distance from the site. And the application lies within, so the application site lies within the Northwood Town Centre conservation area. The site is also covered by a TPO. In terms of the principle of development, policy DMH1 of the local plan advises that the net loss of existing self-contained housing will be resisted unless housing is replaced with at least equivalent residential floor space. With this one, the existing property comprises a substantial 5-bedroom dwelling with a floor area of approximately 240 square metres set over 3 floors, with an additional area of 48 square metres on the ground floor, which is in the commercial use for tuition for catering purposes. The proposed residential floor area, as scaled from the plans, would be a total of approximately 85 square metres, which is significantly less than that which presently exists. The proposal would result in a net loss of approximately 155 square metres of residential floor space, which is contrary to the requirements of policy DMH1. The proposal includes the erection of a substantial 2-storey rear extension, replacing existing additions, which would measure between 7.25 and 10.25 metres in depth from the original wall of the property. The Conservation Officer has raised strong concerns over the scale and form of the extensions. They have advised that, contrary to the submitted heritage statements, assertion that the proposal would have a neutral impact on the conservation area, the proposals are in fact considered to have a negative impact. It is therefore considered that the proposals fail to appear as subordinate additions to the existing property and fail to respect the architectural character and appearance of the original dwelling or the wider street scene, and would fail to either preserve or enhance the character of the conservation area. If I just go back on this presentation to show the site layout. Sorry, here we go. To the southern side, number 18, Murray Road, would be set back approximately 2.6 metres from the proposed 2-storey extension, which would project beyond the rear of the ground floor of that property by 2.3 metres. However, what is not shown on submitted plans is that the property has not been extended at first floor level, and the 2-storey extension would project approximately 10.5 metres beyond the first floor window and would contravene a 45-degree line of sight from this habitable window. Furthermore, the Environmental Protection Officer has raised concerns that no objective information regarding noise impact of the proposed use has been provided. You will note there's a capacity of in excess of 70 children that could be on that site. There is also no assessment of the impact of noise from the regular use of the garden area and the number of children anticipated at each occasion, and no reliable mechanism has been put forward to mitigate any harmful noise impacts. It is therefore considered that the proposal would have a detrimental impact on the occupiers of neighbouring properties. The proposal seeks to provide a nursery that can accommodate up to 74 children and 21 members of staff at full occupancy. There will also be 2 one-bedroom flats provided. The site will retain the existing vehicular crossover in order to provide 4 car parking spaces. 2 of these spaces will be for staff, 2 for resident, and 2 for residents. Parking for 14 bicycles would also be provided. Pick-up and drop-off activity would be undertaken on street. The Highway Authority notes that the staggered arrival and departure times are key to being able to, for this development to operate. This is considered undeliverable in practice for many reasons. Furthermore, it would need to be taken into account that organising this staggered arrival and departure regime will be an onerous commitment and therefore unlikely to be implemented continuously and diligently for the lifetime of the development. The travel plan is also unlikely to achieve a significant mode shift away from a private car. People dropping off children are likely to be doing so as part of a multi-purpose trip typically on their way to work. It is therefore considered that the proposal would fail to comply with policy requirements. For the reasons summarised, it is recommended that the application be refused. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Matt. Luke, we have a petition on this one. Luke, could you read out the written representation, please?
Yep, that's no problem. So the written representation we've received states that 16 Murray Road is in the conservation area, Northwood Town Centre, Green Lane. Hillingdon Borough Council's publication, Northwood Frithwood Conservation Area, states that the council's planning policies seek to preserve and enhance the architectural character and appearance of conservation areas, and to resist inappropriate development through the exercise of planning controls under the provision of the Town and Country Planning General Permitted Development Order 1995 as amended. This document also states that in Hillingdon Borough Council's conservation areas, extensions or alterations should not be out of scale with the original house, and the original plan of the house should be respected, and there should be a relationship with the original form of the house. This proposal does not meet the above requirements. The two-storey rear extension is completely out of scale with the original house and doesn't respect the property's original design. The proposal would therefore be contrary to policies B1 and HE1 of the Hillingdon Local Plan, Part 1 Strategic Policies, November 2012, policies B4, B13, B15, and B19 of the Hillingdon Local Plan, Part 2 Save UDP Policies of November 2012, and the adopted supplementary planning document H-DAS Residential Extensions. The three matching properties, numbers 16, 18 and 20, have matching shrub and flower beds under each of their two-bay windows, and the planned removal of these at number 16 for parking would be detrimental to the historic look of the road. The removal of mature hedging for the extension work is not desirable. With reference to government policy, paragraph 131 of the National Planning Policy Framework states that in determining planning applications, local planning authorities should take account of the desirability of new development making a positive contribution to local character and distinctiveness. Paragraph 134 requires that great weight is given to the conservation of the asset. Conservation areas are heritage assets. Moreover, the existing dwelling is a non-design heritage asset in its own right, which contributes to the character and appearance of the conservation area. In the above context, it's evident that the proposal is contrary to the heritage policies of the development plan, and the MPPF heritage policies are a weighty material consideration against the proposal. Regarding the local development plan policy, changing the use of the ground and first floors from part use class 3, C3 dwelling and part D1 to class D1 does not meet Hillingdon Council's development management policies, local plan part 2, for safeguarding existing housing. The 5 properties to the right of 16 Murray Road, all the properties on the left of 16 Murray Road, and 7 properties opposite are all class 3. Page 36, paragraph 4.3 of the local plan, part 2, development management policies, revised proposed submission version in October 2015, states the council aims to resist the loss of residential accommodation within the borough by means of policy DMH 1, safeguarding existing housing. Also, this proposal, with regard to the extensions, by virtue of their size, scale, bulk, and proximity, will be detrimental to the amenities of adjoining properties number 14, flats, particularly flat 1, and number 18, by reason of overdominance, overshadowing, visual intrusion, loss of light, and loss of outlook. This would be contrary to policies B19, B20, and B21 of the Hillingdon Local Plan, Part 2, Save UDP Policies, November 2012, and the Council's adopted supplementary planning document H-DAS Residential Extensions. Regarding previous planning decisions in the vicinity, application 18245 APP 2016-4573 for 11 Murray Road proposed a ground floor rear extension. That application was rejected for the reasons as follows. The proposed extension would be detrimental to the architectural composition of the existing building and would neither preserve nor enhance the visual amenity, character, and appearance of the wider NTC GLCA. The extension, by virtue of its size, scale, bulk, and proximity, will be detrimental to the amenities of the adjoining properties. And therefore, in summary, the proposal is contrary to the developmental plan by reason of effect on a heritage asset, namely the existing dwelling, and on the character and appearance of the conservation area. the scale, massing and design, which would be detrimental to the form of the existing dwelling and the character and appearance of the building and its vicinity, the loss of a large residential dwelling for which there is demand and need, and furthermore, the following material considerations weigh heavily against the proposal: the strongly protective heritage policies in the MPPF and the Council's previous and recent decisions in respect of residential extensions in Murray Road. That's everything, Chairman.
Luke, thank you very much. Can you just confirm for me that neither the applicants nor ward councillors have submitted any comments on this one?
I can confirm we've had nothing from either.
Okay, in that case, we can move straight to the debate. Who wants to start us off? Councillor Morgan, I can see your hand, so away you go, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This is quite straightforward, actually. I'm very happy to go with the officer's recommendation with this. We can't go and start losing residential property for the sake of a nursery, and it's going to be completely out of character with the rest of the road. So I'm not going to say much more. I'm just going to say I'll propose we go with the officer's recommendations.
Thank you, Councillor Morgan. Anybody else wants to come in on this one? Everyone is silent. In that case, could I have a second?
Yes.
Sorry, Chairman, we did have a couple of hands.
Yeah, sorry, Chairman. Sorry to interrupt, Chairman, but I did indicate that I wanted to speak.
Right, go on, Councillor Oswald.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, I'm quite happy to second this. I mean, it's a solid enough report. The summary basically says it all. There's enough reasons for refusal, and it's non-compliant and it's not in policy, Chairman. So I'm quite happy to second the officer's recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, I am proposing second. Councillor Haggard, did you want to add anything to that?
Thank you, Chair. Now, I too have my hand up. Completely agree. It's just not a suitable location, far too small, and certainly exactly as what's put in a very detailed report actually on here: noise, impact, heritage, conservation. There's just not enough room to house a nursery. So yeah, I just support that. Thank you, Chair.
Good. In that case, I'll hold.
Sorry, Councillor Higgins, I believe, has indicated.
Right, go on, Councillor Higgins.
Yeah, just quickly to say that basically I concur with all the colleagues that have said something here, but it's the road that's the main issue here. It's just so narrow. So, even if they come back with something altered, the problem is going to be the traffic situation on that road. Anyway, that's all I'll say. So.
Thank you, Councillor Higgins. In that case, I will move it to the vote, and I'll come back to you, Councillor Higgins. Are you voting?
I agree with Officer's recommendation.
Yeah, 4 officers' recommendations. Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Councillor Dott, I don't think is not with us yet.
Councillor Dott is still not present.
Okay. Councillor Hagger.
Yes, I agree with recommendations for.
Councillor Kaufman.
I go along with the officer's recommendations, Chairman.
Okay. Councillor Melvin is out of this one. Councillor Morgan.
I'm in favour of officer's recommendations.
Councillor Oswald seconded this one.
Yeah, in favour.
Councillor Singh, are you voting in favour of officer recommendations?
Yes, I'm here with the officers. Also, Mr. Chair, Mr. Jazz Dot, he trying to connect. He couldn't connect it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. In which case, Luke, all members present have confirmed they support officer recommendations. Therefore, that one is carried. Do you agree?
Yes, I can confirm.
Good. I will then move us, please, to Luke. Will you just watch your Councillor Dot is successful?
Yes, I can keep an eye on that.
I will now move to agenda item 8, which is 178 to 180 Field End Road, East Cope Pinner. Matt, please.
Thank you, Chairman.
I'm back in the meeting, Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor Melvin.
The application is seeking planning permission for the change of use of number 178 from a retail class A1 to a restaurant use class A3, single-story rear infill extension, installation of a roof light, and the installation of new shop front to both 178 and 180 Field End Road. I'll just take members through the slides. See a red line plan showing the 178 and 180 GIS map. Another red line plan. This is the existing ground floor arrangement. You have 180 here, which is a restaurant at the moment, and the A1 use at 178. The proposed layout, you see, it's just an enlarged restaurant. So the restaurant at 180 would be enlarged to encompass 178. You just see a regular restaurant layout. This is the existing floor plans, and you'll note that if I just toggle between the two, you've got a space here at the moment, and if I toggle to the proposed, you can see it's infilled. So that element is being infilled, and you also have a large skylight being proposed. Yeah. These are proposed elevations to show you, the existing front elevations, and then the proposed for the restaurant. So they both look the same. Just another proposed front elevation. Existing rear and proposed rear. So again, if I just toggle, if you look in this element here, you will see the extension. So in that bit, just infilling it. Roof plan, existing roof plan, proposed roof plan. Sorry, yes, proposed roof plan. And some existing side elevation, proposed side elevation, which there isn't actually that much of a difference. You can just see the parapet of the extension in there that's infilling the gap. An aerial photo. This is number 178, which is currently A1 use. And you've got the restaurant next door, which will be taking over 178. Just some photos of the street scene for photos at the back. This is where the infill extension will go, that element there. Again, just some more photos of the back to give you some context of what it currently looks like. Any sort of service yard, apologies for going too far. The application relates to 2 ground floor commercial units located located to the west of Fieldend Road. The properties are attached to 176 and 182 Fieldend Road to the north and south respectively. Residential flats are located on the first floor. The application site is located within a secondary shopping area of the Eastcote Town Centre and of the Eastcote Conservation Area. In terms of the principle of development, the Eastcote Shopping Survey 2019 shows that the share of A1 uses within the secondary shopping area is currently 55.8% of frontages, which is above the required 50%, and it is considered that the loss of the A1 unit would not bring the share to below 50% in accordance with policy. The rear infill extension would infill the area between the 2 separate single-storey rear projecting elements, and as such it is considered that it would create a more integrated element, and the alteration to the roof of number 178 would increase this integration. The proposal comprises the combination of the 2 units into one large unit. The principle of combining the units is acceptable. To ensure it would not result in a large expanse of glazing, a panelled stool riser and pilasters would be used to keep the visual separation of the 2 units. Proposed pilasters would reinstate the exposed brickwork finish, which is considered an enhancement to the overall appearance of the building, resulting in a positive impact on the conservation area. I'll just take members to the addendum. Just bear with me if I can find it. In the addendum, we're just proposing an additional condition in line with the access officer comments to ensure that the accessible toilet meets various DDA regulations. And for the reasons summarised, it is recommended that the application be approved. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Matt. This one is in my ward, and I know it well. I think this is a good proposal for the use of this empty shop and the business next door expanding. Other views on this one, please? Councillor Hectares, it's in Eastcote. I'll bring you in.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I completely agree, actually. It's a good usage for a restaurant. I would like just to ask officers just one question. With the restaurant and the waste, could you just go back to the screen where the waste would be? So I just want to just have a look at where the waste would actually be placed. I presume it's round the back, like there is. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I know we've had a couple of restaurants along the East Coast, along the high road, and there has been issues with the waste after the restaurant has shut and where it is actually placed and people, you know, seeing it and smelling it. So I just wanted to be a little, just to clarify that, and that there is enough room for the waste to be taken outside, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I'll just present again. Just bear with me. So as you can see from the site photos, currently the waste is stored at the rear in these Euro bins, and the proposal is to continue doing the same, but it will just stretch slightly further across. Excuse me, I didn't mean to. So it'll be in the same. It'll be located in the same position, and it will be collected in the same manner. Okay,
we're happy that can hold that. We're happy with that.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, okay then. I'm quite happy to support officers' recommendations for approval. I'm glad to see that we've got subject to the following, which is things like the brickwork matching and things like that. So I'm happy with that. So yes, I support officers' recommendations for approval, Chair.
Thank you. Other views on this one? I can't see any hands on screen.
Sorry, Councillor Oswell, I believe, is indicating.
Right, Councillor Oswell, please.
Yes, thank you very much for that. Yeah, thank you, Chairman. It's yeah, I'll second the recommendation. I'm not as familiar with this area as I once was when I lived there for a short while, but yeah, it's it will be good for the parade of shops and it makes it a more viable high street. So I'm quite happy to second, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to come in on this one? I think
Councillor Higgins and Councillor Kaufman, I can see.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'll take Councillor Higgins first and then Councillor Kaufman.
Thank you, Chairman. My only concern, I mean, the hours of opening, I mean, is that standard there? Yeah, I mean, it seems in the week it's 11:30, which sounds a bit long, but I don't know if that's what
they look relatively standard to me.
Okay, fine. Then I don't have a problem with it at all.
Okay, Councillor Kaufman.
Yes, Chairman, I'm happy with this proposal. I think it's it will add to the high street rather than anything else. I think to join the two units together makes it really does look good, you know, from a visual standpoint. So I have no problem in approve, you know, going for approval on this one. Thank you.
Good. I think in that case we are proposed and seconded. I think we're all done unless Luke tells me otherwise.
I haven't seen anything else.
Right. In that case, can I will move now to the vote, starting with Councillor Higgins.
Yeah, I agree.
Councillor Dott with us yet? No?
No, he is still not present.
Right. Councillor Hagger, you agree? Yeah?
Yes, I support, yeah.
Councillor Kaufman?
Yeah, I support the officer's recommendation, Chairman.
Councillor Melvin?
Yes, I agree, Chairman.
Councillor Morgan?
For.
Councillor Oswald seconded.
Yes.
So I'll take him as agreed. And Councillor Singh?
Yes, I agree, Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In which case, all members present have voted to approve the officer report. You've confirmed, Luke?
Yes, that's what I have to.
Okay. I will move to item 9. I'm going to suggest on this one, I know this is described as Highway Farm, but I think we all know it's the Dogs Trust premises in Harefield. It's a very modest proposal for a wire-framed sculpture of a dog. Does anybody need a presentation on this one?
Not for me, Chairman.
Sorry, Councillor Higgins has indicated.
Councillor Higgins, do you want to need a presentation?
No, I don't need a presentation. I was just going to go with officer recommendation on this, and
that would be what I was hoping you were going to do.
And obviously, we're lucky that it's not as big as Jeff Koon's one in Bilbao, so we should benefit for that.
Yeah,
it would be interesting to know whether it will be infilled with flowers, but there might be a copyright issue there. But apart from that, I'll go with officer recommendation.
yeah, I'll second, Chairman.
Right, I'm proposed and seconded. Unless Luke's got anybody else, I will move to the vote on this one.
Councillor Morgan was indicating, but it may have been to second. No, he's happy.
He's happy now, right? Okay, if I can move straight to the vote, then Councillor Higgins proposed. So you're obviously for. Councillor Hagger.
4.
Councillor Kaufman. Councillor Kaufman, microphone.
Sorry, Chairman. Yes, 4. Yes.
Yeah, okay, don't worry about it. Councillor Melvin.
Yes, 4, Chairman.
Councillor Morgan.
4.
Councillor Oswald seconded. Councillor Singh, 4.
4, Chairman.
Thank you. That's everybody present, and I've excluded Councillor Dott. Do you confirm that, Luke? Both
Yes,
four?
can confirm that. Yep.
One is therefore approved. We move, please, to item 10, Copthall Farm, Breakspear Road, South Ickenham. Agricultural building, please, Matt.
Thank you, Chairman. This application seeks full planning permission for the erection of an arboricultural building for the purposes of storing hay and straw. The proposed pitched roof building would measure approximately 30 by 15 by 6 meters in height and at the eaves and an 8.14 meter height at its highest point. The structure will be open-sided with PVC cladded gable ends down to the eaves and would contain 5 6.1 meter wide bays. I'll just take members through the slides. This is the red line plan. It actually shows the access road to where the barn will be. So it's not the entire farm, I don't believe. GIS map, that's the entire farm there in red. And the red line you just saw was just the access road there and the location of the proposed barn. Another block plan. Proposed elevations, as you will see, it's a very standard agricultural building. Take some photos. You can see actually from the aerials, currently used some storage of some sort of containers, I believe. Oops. Just some photos of the farm building to give you some context. You can see some other storage sheds that look quite a lot like what is being proposed. There's, I believe, the location of where the storage sheds will go. Just a few more photos for you of the tractor. Just to show you, it's just a sort of storage area on the farm at the moment. The application site forms part of Copthall Farm, located on the west side of Breakspear Road South, and comprises a farmstead with ancillary consented business uses to supplement the core family farming business income. Specifically, the farming enterprise comprises 50 herd of cattle with hay and straw harvesting to support the herd. The proposed agricultural building is supported in principle and is considered to be an appropriate use within the Greenbelt. The proposal was also considered acceptable with regards to its impact on the character of the area, setting of the buildings, listed buildings, neighbour amenity, the local highway network, trees, landscaping, ecology, energy, flooding, noise and air quality. Subject to conditions, this application is recommended for approval, and for the reasons summarised, it is recommended that the application be approved. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Matt. Councillor Higgins.
Thank you, Chairman. This is very short and sweet. Again, another one. I will go with lots of recommendation. I mean, obviously, we want to keep the herd fed and well looked after, so I will propose.
Thank you. Councillor Morgan, I saw you indicate.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Can they actually store whatever they wish within this barn? I'm just concerned that we could end up with anything that's non-agricultural being stored inside the barn, because I couldn't see any condition that says it must be to do with agriculture. Is there anything that we can put on there?
Matt?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. Yes, indeed, we can add a condition if that's what is requested to limit them to what they can store within those sheds.
i.e. that it would be agricultural products?
Well, yes.
That would seem sensible.
Chairman, can I add?
Yes, James, please.
Yeah, we can certainly add a condition that restricts it to agricultural use. So I think what we're trying to avoid here is there is examples where barns have gone into B-class uses. So I think it would be helpful to restrict it to agricultural use. Not necessarily as simplistic as hay and straw, but with agricultural use. But can I also request delegated authority to add an informative? We've got the full SUDS condition, but I think it would help if the flood and water management officer outlined in an informative exactly what we need from the applicant, rather than leave them wondering exactly what they need to do because we got the full SUDS condition. Thank you, Chairman.
Sensible, James. Anybody else want to come in on this one? Luke, have you?
I think Councillor Melvin might be indicating, I believe.
Councillor Melvin?
Yeah, no, yes, I was actually, but it was only to second the proposal.
I'll take that. I will actually take that. That's good news. Does anybody else? It sounds like we're silent for everybody else. So I am proposed and seconded. It has been suggested, I think it's sensible, we add a condition to the report, so delegated authority to the head of planning to add a condition to restrict it to agricultural use, and the head of planning has also requested delegated authority to informative to explain what the requirements for the satisfy the SUDS condition are. Those two seem entirely sensible to me. So unless anyone objects to that, I will move to the vote on this one. So you're voting for officer recommendations as amended. Councillor Higgins proposed. Councillor Dott, I don't think is in the meeting.
No, he's not present.
He's still struggling to connect, I think. Councillor Hagger.
For, Chair.
Councillor Kaufman.
For, Chairman.
Councillor Melvin seconded, so I'll take you as for. Councillor Morgan.
Yeah.
For, Mr. Chairman.
Councillor Oswald.
For, Chairman.
Councillor Singh.
For, Chairman.
That's all members present voting for, so that one is carried. You confirm, Luke?
Can confirm, yes.
Thank you. I now move to item 11, which is 86 Ducks Hill Road. This is the one that the report was sent to you late. It's a refusal report, but it was sent to you on Friday because the printed copy has most of the report missing. Matt, could you outline this one, please?
Yes, thank you, Chairman. It's working. The application seeks planning consent for the erection of a first floor and part single-storey front side extension and single-storey rear extension and raised rear decking area to the rear. Just take members through the slides. 86 Ducks Hill Road, red line plan. Another red line plan. This is the existing, these are the existing elevations. You'll see it is actually a bungalow with two large dormers on either side. This is the existing layout of the property. You'll see the bungalow with a flat roof element there. And these are the proposed elevations. So you will see the proposed house in this location here. Basically, it's a completely new build effectively. So look at the proposed floor plans here. Some aerial photos. And this is the site at the moment, the bungalow as it appears in the street scene. Property there. This, I've just shown members, and I will speak about this in a minute. The application site comprises a detached bungalow situated on the northwestern side of Ducks Hill Road, which, as you can see from the photo, steeply slopes from southwest to northeast. There is an enclosed rear garden sloping away from the house, with large, mature, protected oak tree close to the rear elevation of the property. I'll just continue flicking through the photos. Oops. You can just see there, that's the large, mature oak tree. It's just beyond the rear elevation of the house. The street scene is residential in character and appearance, and Manor House Drive runs along the rear boundary. It is also covered by a tree preservation order for this particular tree here. Just more photos to show in context of the adjoining properties. That's to the rear. Just a few more photos to show members context. Apologies. Whilst it is acknowledged that this is a substantial extension to the existing dwelling, which exceeds policy requirements and significantly alters the character and appearance of the property, it is noted that the street scene is comprised of a variety of styles of houses, predominantly two-storey detached dwellings set within good-sized plots and many of the neighbouring properties have been extended or replaced. The resultant dwelling is of a scale which respects the plot size and would be similar in design to number 84. Therefore, in terms of appearance, the proposed extension of the dwelling would respect the character and appearance of the wider street scene and would be acceptable. However, in terms of the impact on the neighbours, if I just flick back on the slides to the front to show members, the proposed elevations show a gap of 2. In fact, let me go back to the elevations, just bear with me 1 second. So I'm talking to them. The proposed elevations show a gap of 2.5 metres from the boundary of number 88 and 1 metre from the boundary of number 84. To the southwest, number 88 is set back approximately 1.95 metres from the shared boundary at a lower land level. There is significant concern regarding potential impact on a side window of number 88, which is the only window serving a bedroom. This currently looks over the roof slope of the bungalow. The submitted plans show a 25-degree line of sight, as per BRE guidance to indicate the proposal would not result in a significant loss of light to the occupants of that property. However, this would not address the issues previously raised regarding the loss of outlook from the bedroom window, which would now face a flank wall and roof of the extended dwelling at a distance of between 7.6 and 8.5 metres, leading to an oppressive environment for the occupiers of that room. To the other side, a number 84 is set at a lower level. The rear of this property has a similar rear building line to the extended property. It is noted that there are side windows facing the application site, although these do not appear to serve habitable rooms. It is noted that in response to a previous application, the primary concerns raised by the neighbouring occupiers related to loss of privacy, including potential overlooking of the side roof light facing the application site. The roof lights do appear to serve a habitable room. The increased height of the property and resultant increase in height of the eaves, set back by approximately 3.4 metres, would have a significant impact on the amenity of the occupiers of this room by virtue of loss of light, visual intrusion, and over dominance. For the reasons that summarised, it is recommended that the application be refused. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Matt. Councillor Higgins, do you want to kick this one off?
Thank you, Chairman. This is I mean, I'm going to agree with Officer's recommendation. I don't really have an issue with this in that sense, but I don't agree with the. I agree with the problem of the lower neighbour, but I don't agree with the neighbour that's higher, because already the higher neighbour's already overlooking. Can you still hear me, Chairman?
Yeah, no, I can still hear you.
Yeah, that's one of my concerns. The other concern was I see that the TPO, there was a planning application in 2017. Do we know whether the work had been carried out on that tree, or do we not sort of check on that, or is it something that we just leave to trust?
Well, I will check in a minute, but we may well not.
But apart from that, I mean, obviously, overall, I agree that it is a refusal. As I agree with officers that 84 is very similar to the design, and obviously the neighbour that's next to it, they've sort of dropped away with a garage and then gone up, which seems acceptable. That's why I'm a bit concerned that where can the applicant go if we're saying that is not allowed on that side. But apart from that, I will go with officer recommendation. Okay. Can I propose it? I'll propose it as well.
Thank you. Can I just ask Matt to come back in there, please?
Thank you, Chairman. In terms of the, so let me just present again. Really helpful. So if I just go back to the points on the two adjoining neighbours. So you see on the lower one, I know Councillor Higgins agreed with that one, but you can see the roof lights and the impact on that because it's lower, and I appreciate that Councillor Higgins agreed with that. The issue with the other property, which is set higher, is, if I can just get to a correct slide. Apologies, let me just find the best slide for you, is these windows. So they are one of these, I think it's this one, is a sole habitable room window to a particular room. And if you imagine this going up 2 stories, they will look out straight over the side wall of that house, which is where the issue lies. That's that impact on that house is the fact that it will look out over a large 2-story wall within a quite. I mean, they're only, I think, 1.95 meters off the boundary on this side, I believe. So it's going to be very, very close. And in terms of the tree issue, I'm afraid I don't know whether that work was carried out or not. I have no way of checking at present. Thank you, Chairman.
Councillor, does that answer your question?
Yes, that does. I mean, as I said, I appreciate what Matt's saying on that side. It's just that obviously then that property will never be able to be higher than it is at this moment. And for me, the staggering, we've obviously let other applications in the borough go. I know this is on this particular one, but it's just something that did concern me. That's all. But
Okay.
I'm happy with officer's recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor. Anybody else looking to come in, Luke? Can you see anybody
Councillor
else?
Morgan and Councillor Oswell, I can see.
Right, I'll take Councillor Oswell, then Councillor Morgan.
Yes, thank you very much, Chairman. Yeah, I tend to agree with the officer's recommendation. And Councillor Higgins is right. I mean, that building will probably always have to stay as it is, simply because of the way the property goes down a hill. But yeah, I'll second the officer's recommendation. Thank you, Chairman.
I'll take Councillor Morgan.
Councillor Oswald has been reading from my script again, but no, I'm happy to go with officer's recommendations.
Okay, we are proposed and seconded. Is there anybody else looking to come in? Luke, you confirm no?
I can't see anyone at the moment, no.
Right, okay, in which case I shall proceed to the vote. Councillor Higgins, you proposed officer recommendations for refusal, so you were obviously for the refusal. Councillor Hagger?
Thank you, Chair, for the refusal.
Thank you. Councillor Kaufman?
I go along with the officer's recommendations, Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Melvin?
Yes, I go along with them, Chairman.
Councillor Morgan?
I'm for.
Good. Councillor Oswald seconded, so therefore it's for. Councillor Singh?
I agree with the officers, Chair.
Thank you. In which case all members present have voted to approve officer recommendations. That application is refused. Do you confirm that, Luke?
I can confirm that.
Right, we now move to item 12. Oh, excitement. We have a tree house in St John's School, Potter Street, Northwood. Matt, no doubt you've got some succinct presentation on this one, I would think.
Indeed, yeah. Let's present it now. The proposal is for the erection of a treehouse in an area of woodland of approximately 50 square metres situated to the north of the existing school buildings. I'll just take members through the slides. The red line plan with the position of the treehouse, a GIS map, and this is again a red line plan, but this time with the access road shown. The treehouse will go in this wooded area here. These are the proposed plans of the treehouse. You can see it's a topographical survey and just some photos. Not that you probably need to see photos of trees, but that's the school buildings and the woodland area where I think that's actually a tree where it will be situated, positioned. The St John's School occupies an expansive area in the far north of the borough, extending to approximately 12.4 hectares. The school falls within a predominantly residential area, largely characterised by sizable detached properties with large gardens. Its primary access is via Potter Street Hill. A secondary access is available via Weiland Road, which is a private road. The proposed structure is of a wooden construction, as you could see from the plans. It's designed to blend in with the surrounding woodland. The nature of the building's structure is fairly open and is situated in an area where there are other existing play structures, sheds and benches. The structure will not be widely visible from the surrounding area or the green belt and would be considered appropriate within the existing school facility. The structure is considered to represent an appropriate form of development within the green belt and would not detract from the rural character and appearance of the area. And for the reasons summarised, it is recommended that the application be approved. Thank you, Chairman.
This looks to me to be pretty straightforward. Does somebody want to take us forward on this one, unless someone's got a lot of views on it?
Councillor, there's a few councillors. So Councillor Higgins, I've got Councillor Melvin, Councillor Kaufman, and Councillor Morgan.
I'll start with I'll start with Councillor Melvin this time, just to be different.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say I'm very happy to go ahead with this because, you know, it's time we started doing this sort of things for the children. They've been, you know, not had these sort of areas to go for a long time. So I think I'm very happy to go along with the officer's recommendation.
Okay, Councillor Kaufman.
Thank you, Chairman. I too will go along with officers' recommendations. I think this actual structure will enhance sort of teaching and learning within the school. And it's the first time I've seen this. I've seen it at Centre Parks, but not on the school. So I'm happy to go along with officers' recommendations.
Okay, Councillor Higgins.
Thank you, Chairman. Yeah, I agree. I think it's an absolutely wonderful. I just want to know when we have planning application for the elephants and the giraffes to come in. Apart from that, I think, yes, it's fantastic learning. Get children outside learning is absolutely brilliant. I think it's been proposed and seconded, but if it hasn't,
Actually, nobody's formally said that. Everyone said they agree with it, so I'll take you as a proposal.
I proposed it, Chairman.
I think Carol had proposed it, so I'll second it. So that's fine.
Councillor Morgan.
Councillor Morgan's indicated that he was happy. So
right, in that case, unless you've got anybody else, Luke, I will push it to the vote.
I can't see anyone else. No.
Okay, Councillor Higgins was a seconder. Councillor Hagger.
For, Chairman.
Councillor Kaufman.
The microphone appears to be on mute, Councillor Kaufman.
For, Chairman, sorry.
Councillor Melvin.
I propose, so yes.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. Councillor Morgan.
For.
Councillor Oswald.
Yeah, great idea. For.
Councillor Singh.
For, Chairman.
All members present have voted for the application, so it's approved. Do you confirm that, Luke?
I can confirm that. I can also confirm that Councillor Dott has just joined the meeting.
Ah, welcome, Councillor Dott. Okay, I'll move to item 13, small holding opposite Northwood Hills United Reformed Church. It's a retrospective application for 4 stables. Do we have photos on this one, Matt?
Yes, we do, Chairman.
You want to start with the photos because 4 stables would appear an appropriate use. If we see the photos, it may just confirm whether members are happy with it.
Okay, I'll just share it now. So I'll just take members to the photo. So that's a photo of what was there before. And now here you will see the stables as they are now. So
that looks like a rapid improvement.
Yeah, I'll just toggle back so you can see previously and now what's been built.
Just do members want to see a full presentation on this, given that you can see what it is? It's stable appropriate use.
No, Chairman. I'll move the officer's recommendation.
And I'll second it.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm happy, yes.
Okay, and as anybody else comes in, I'm taking that we're good. Okay, in which case I shall move to the vote on that one. Councillor Higgins was one of the was the proposer. Councillor Hagger.
For, Chairman.
Councillor Kaufman. Microphone, I think, possibly.
What?
Have you got your microphone on?
Yeah, it's on, Chairman.
I didn't hear it. That was all. I didn't hear you say.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, for, Chairman.
Councillor Melvin.
Yes, Chairman, I'm for.
Councillor Morgan.
For.
Councillor Oswald was seconder. Councillor Singh.
For, Chairman.
That's all members present voted for.
Councillor Dott
Dott
is able to vote on this one.
Yeah, Councillor Dott. Sorry, I missed you because you weren't here earlier.
For.
Thank you very much. That's all members voting for, so that one is carried, Luke.
Yep, I can confirm that.
Item 14 is a noting item only, so if we could take that as noted. If I could now ask Democratic Services to cancel live feed and confirm to me that's done, I'll move to the two enforcement items.
Thank you, Chairman. If members could just remain muted just for a few moments, and I'll try and end the broadcast.